Today is May 11th. I'm Serena, and welcome to the 7 Streams Bible Reading Method. Today we are in the Exile stream in the book of Hosea. We'll be reading Hosea 9 verse 10 through 10 verse 15. We are in the easy-to-read version this week. Hosea 9 verse 10. At the time I, the Lord, found Israel, they were like fresh grapes in the desert. They were like the first figs on a fig tree at the beginning of the season. But when they came to Baal Peor, they changed. So I had to cut them off like rotten fruit. They became like the terrible things that they loved. Like a bird, Ephraim's glory will fly away. There will be no more pregnancies, no more births, and no more babies. But even if the Israelites do raise their children, it will not help, because I will take the children away from them. I will leave them, and they will have nothing but troubles. I can see that Ephraim is leading his children into a trap. Ephraim will lead his children out to the killer. Lord, give them what you will. Give them a womb that loses babies and breasts that cannot give milk. All their evil is in Gilgal. I began hating them there. I will force them to leave my house because of the evil things they do. I will not love them anymore. Their leaders are rebels who turned against me. Ephraim will be punished. Their root is dying. They will not have any more babies. They might give birth to babies, but I will kill the precious babies who come from their bodies. Those people will not listen to my God, so he will refuse to listen to them, and they will wander among the nations without a home. Israel is like a vine that grows plenty of fruit. But as Israel got more and more things, he built more and more altars to honor false gods. His land became better and better. So he put up better and better stones to honor false gods. The people of Israel tried to trick God, but now they must accept their guilt. He will break down their altars and destroy their memorial stones. Now the Israelites say, "We have no king. We don't honor the Lord, and his king cannot do anything to us." They make promises, but they are only telling lies. They don't keep their promises. They make agreements with other countries. God does not like those agreements. The judges are like poisonous weeds growing in a plowed field. The people from Samaria worship the calves at Bethaven. They will cry. The priests will cry because their beautiful idol is gone. It was carried away. It was carried away as a gift to the great king of Assyria. He will keep Ephraim's shameful idol. Israel will be ashamed of its idol. Samaria's false god will be destroyed. It will be like a piece of wood floating away on the water's surface. Israel sinned and built many high places. The high places of Avon will be destroyed. Thorns and weeds will grow on their altars. Then they will say to the mountains, "Cover us," and to the hills, "Fall on us." Israel, you have sinned since the time of Gibeah, and the people have continued to sin there. Those evil people at Gibeah will be trapped by war. I will come to punish them. Armies will come together against them and punish the Israelites for both of their sins. Ephraim is like a trained young cow that loves to walk on grain on the threshing floor. I will put a good yoke on her neck. I will put the ropes on Ephraim. Then Judah will begin plowing. Jacob will break the ground himself. If you plant goodness, you will harvest faithful love. Plow your ground, and you will harvest with the Lord. He will come, and he will make goodness fall on you like rain. But you planted evil, and you harvested trouble. You ate the fruit of your lies, because you had trusted in your power and your soldiers. So your armies will hear the noise of battle, and all your fortresses will be destroyed. It will be like the time Shalman destroyed Beth Arbel. At that time of war, mothers were killed with their children. And this will happen to you at Bethel, because you did so many evil things. When that day begins, the king of Israel will be fully destroyed. Dear Lord, let this sorry tale of the northern kingdom only remind us that you do not play games with the disobedient. Let it remind us and urge us to follow you today, and to follow you fully. Amen. In chapter 9, Israel's love for God has rotted. It started out as affection that was pure, but it has become like garbage, gone bad late in the day. Israel has loved rotten things. Now they have gone totally rotten themselves. God needs to discard them. Their future needs to be cut off, because a rotten present that Israel is committed to at the time signifies a rotten future. Nothing signals that there's a future like a baby arriving. Well, sadly, God is going to end this, and Israel is going to have no more babies. What babies survive, God will take. It's just too disturbing to describe what the Assyrian soldiers did to Israel's helpless babies during the siege. My husband Drake had to study this in school. So, yes, he is saying it's bad, and if you want to know more, he would be willing to discuss that with you. I'll leave that to him. Well, Israel had killed its own faith and done so deliberately. It won't be long now until Assyria kills every Israelite baby they can find. Is that too rough? Is God being too mean? Wow, it is a hard thing to discuss. But willful sin takes things in a far worse direction than the deliberate sinner ever dreamed he would be taken in his worst nightmare. They would become a homeless nation. And historically, these tribes of the north were scattered into the compost heap of history. In chapter 10, Israel has erred greatly in that they used their wealth and fertile land and blessing to do what? To make idols. Their aimlessness is turned into lunacy. We've heard the phrase, wherever you go, there you are. With Israel, wherever they go in their minds and hearts and sinfulness, they aren't there either. When someone isn't thinking clearly, we declare, they're not all there. This is Israel completely. They have a king, but they don't. Not really. They make promises that they don't keep. So what were they promising? Their judges merely poison everything. They worship a calf. It gets stolen. They make pacts with other countries, with those who hate them and then invade. Their altars of worship will turn into piles of weeds. So what are they worshiping? The nation is crazy. Israel has been sinning and sinning so horribly, so constantly, and for so long. All these centuries, they could have been planting good things that grew into great things. But Israel planted evil, lies, false hope. By the way, the man Shalman, mentioned in Hosea 10:14, was an Assyrian king. His full name was Shalmaneser. Israel is going to be fully destroyed. It's basically over for them. 7streamsmethod.com is the home port for this podcast. Tomorrow we will transition to the Christ stream, and know that nothing can separate you from the love of God. Seek Him fully, and you will find Him. Until tomorrow, I'm Serena, sailing with you down the 7 streams.